Hey, and good Thursday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Center here for the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. Hope you guys having a great day. I got to get on the road today, going to attend a weather conference here over the next few days up in Tennessee. Looking forward to that. But before I get going, I'll make sure I gave you guys y'all's update. I'm a little bit early, but that's okay. I know you guys will find me. My regular viewers, I appreciate you. And if you're new to the channel, hey, I'm your no-nonsense weather guy. I give it to you straight. We don't play the social media hype here. Our motto's here real simple: to keep you prepared and not scared, and give you the latest weather information without sounding like we're hyperventilating. So if you appreciate that approach, please consider subscribing to the channel. It'll be an honor and privilege to be one of your weather sources. All right, let's go ahead and talk about yesterday. We had our highs and lows cross country. We had minus 12 that was up in Northgate, North Dakota, and 89 down there in Rio Grande Village, Texas. Those were our extremes across the country. Now, as we get out of studio mode here, there we go. As you can kind of see what's going on, we got some rain down here and some storms along the Gulf Coast. Otherwise, not looking too bad. You notice the moisture plume coming in out of the Pacific right there, and we're going to continue to remain a bit unsettled on the southeast. And we got some cold air intrusions coming, folks. We've already got some of it out there already. In fact, when you look up here, you got temperatures down here in the single digits, and here's a minus 2 right there. So minus 12, minus 9. We got some cold temperatures out there, and we're going to see some continue below normal temperatures. A couple of them coming at us here over the next several days into next week. There is a hint of a December thaw, especially you guys across the southern tier coming your way. And we're going to talk about a little bit of a pattern shift coming our way, so we're going to break that all down for you here in this report. All right. Now, current watches and warnings. Here's where our winter weather is going to be. We got the Mid-Atlantic here under the gun. We got Texas and Oklahoma here. We got parts of New Mexico and the Intermountain region. I tell you, some of those Intermountain regions, by the way, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, we're talking feet of snow. Wait till I show you the snow totals on the European. Very impressive to see that. And I'm still fighting a cold, by the way. I'm almost over it, but I'm still struggling a little bit. Anyway, let's talk about the radar here. We are getting some pretty good rains here across southern Alabama this morning. Definitely a rainy day there in Alabama, and it'll be a rainy day across the south, especially going into North Georgia where I'm at. It'll be kind of a wedge day tomorrow, cool air damming and just cold rain across the area. I was like, if it's going to be cold and rainy, let's bring some snow in, but unfortunately not cold enough for that. Now, speaking of the Gulf Coast, we are going to see some thunderstorms down here. Nothing severe, but we do have several days of it. This is your day one outlook from the Storms Prediction Center from basically Florida, Alabama, back over to the Texas Gulf Coast. That's your day one. Day two comes in Alabama, parts of Georgia, getting up toward Macon, Savannah, back over toward New Orleans. So that's our day two. And then it'll continue into day three, going into your Saturdays, Friday. So this is for Friday, and this is for Saturday. So right along the Gulf Coast from Jacksonville, again, over to Baton Rouge in New Orleans. So again, we got some thunderstorms on the Gulf Coast, but that's really the only game in town when it comes to thunderstorms here over the next several days. All right, so let's go talk about the shorter term forecast. We're talking about what's going to happen the next couple of days. Let's go look at the intermediate model here. This is the 3-kilometer NAM going over about 60 hours. And kind of see what's going on here across the country. Obviously, we got that storm system coming in out of the southeast, going to bring some snows across the mid-Atlantic. We got a storm system coming out on the west coast as well. So as this thing loops on through here, you can kind of get a look, see what's going on here. As again, you get the rain here that's going to bring us snows there. We got the high pressure off the coast, so these systems are kind of diving down this way. And we got a little clipper system here coming across the Great Lakes as well. So we got a couple of systems that are diving on in there. Going to get some more intermountain snows there. Denver finally got some snows yesterday. That was broke their snow drought there. And very cold across the northeast as well. And in fact, we're going to have several bouts of cold air coming down here over the next week. Before that, a little bit of that pattern change may be coming at us, okay? All right, so let's go talk about rainfall amounts. Obviously, your rain totals are more significant down here toward the south. So we're talking about areas down there across the southeast. So my pointer here, there we go. Coming out here toward the southeast. Not sure why my pointer's not working, but anyway, no, it stopped working. So anyway, I'll use my hand here. You can kind of see me right there. So here we go. So here's our rain down here. All right, and then we got very heavy rains out here on the west coast. Look here across Washington State, Oregon, and this in the interior sections. I mean, I'm talking about some very, very heavy snows in that zone. Looking very, very snowy indeed. Here is your snow totals here. Make sure this is up to the latest, greatest here. There we go. Look at these snow totals out here in the west. I mean, we're talking, when you start seeing green, we're talking feet of snow, man. And you can just see it all up here across Idaho, Washington State, going down into Wyoming and Utah and into Colorado. So the skiers delight out there in the west. The ski resorts are going to be really getting going. Got some snow here coming across the portions of the high plains as well. And of course, we got that little snowstorm here across the mid-Atlantic to talk about. This is again going in through Saturday afternoon. You see some pretty decent snows, 4 inches here, 5 inches here across portions of Virginia, West Virginia, parts of western Kentucky, and parts of areas of northern portions of North Carolina getting in this. So that is a nice little southern snowstorm coming in here as well. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the temperatures here. Again, over the next 60 hours, it's going to continue to stay on the cold side for a lot of the country, okay? So, but that purple, boy, that purple is that below zero stuff. And we got this initial round we're dealing with this morning, but we got some more coming at us here. When I show you the European, there's the next one kind of invading, kind of see it on the end of that run. But you see this cold air this morning up here. Again, look how much of the country is looking at below freezing temperatures here for this morning, quite a bit. And then it kind of goes away, and then we got some more coming at us as we go in toward going into the weekend. So there it goes here, right toward the end of this model run here. You kind of see it right up here. See that coming on down here going into the weekend. So we got another cold shot coming down here with some cold air. Now, here's our jet stream flow. I mean, our 500 millibar height anomaly. It kind of shows where the jet stream is going to be configured and everything. So I want to back this up here a little bit. Again, you got this continued flow. Look at this high pressure. The storm system's been going up and around and kind of coming into around that high pressure. You got this big, huge high off here off the coast. And we've been seeing this cold pattern, this negative NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation, which has been keeping us on the cold side. Now, this is going to stay right in there. So we got one cold shot coming down here going into Monday. We got this big ridge coming down there Wednesday. We got another cold shot going into Thursday next week. But look what happens beyond this going into that weekend. Look at this. We're going to raise this up. Oh, look at that. That's going to allow temperatures here across the south to begin to modify. The jet stream begins to flatten out, all right? So as we head toward the 13th of the month, we get a little bit of a break. Now, the question is, how long is that going to stay? But you get that La Nina effect. That's what I call that. When I see that high pressure ridging out of the southeast, once again, that's that influence there. But it looks like we start seeing the troughiness start to reestablish itself toward the end of this run going to the 18th, where we start seeing the high pressure starting to ridge back out here again, and then you start seeing this start to shape place, although that doesn't look all that impressive as far as the cold air is concerned. But again, it looks like we got a bit of a mid-month break coming our way for a few days, and the question will be, how long does that last? So that'll be something we'll be tracking going later into the month. Okay, so let's go look at our storms. So because of the fact that how the jet stream's configured, we're not really getting any huge storm systems. I mean, not break your back major storm systems here. Obviously, we got this storm system here across the south that's going to be moving across the south. There's our snow across the areas of the mid-Atlantic there. Obviously, getting a little bit of that here right through there. So, and then we got another storm system out here on the west coast. So, and then we got this reinforcing shot coming in over the Great Lakes. So, so this moves on in, that moves on out. And going into next week, not bad. I mean, really for a lot of the country, below no precipitation. The Northwest continues to stay active. And we got a bit of a clipper system coming across the Great Lakes. There's that one going on Tuesday, going into the northeast. So we got another clipper system here, limited moisture with that. And we got another one back behind this one. And that one may drag some moisture into the southeast with it. So there's but again, limited moisture with this. Not a whole lot. This goes on through. That's that one cold shot. And then we see things begin to flatten out and moderate here just a little bit across the country. All right. So no big stuff. We got a couple decent storms because of the active track out in the west. We'll get a lot of snows in the Intermountain region out there in the west. But really not looking overly active as far as precipitation for a lot of the country. Because look at this. I mean, you got the Northwest, the Gulf Coast, of course, the Great Lakes in there. But a lot of the country, these are 10-day totals. This takes us out through December the 12th. So again, not overly aggressive with a lot of rain here across the country. So a bit on the dry side here. All right. Now, as far as the snow is concerned, I mean, this is a big one. Check this out, guys. Look at this. I mean, Idaho, Montana, looking at toward Wyoming, looking at the Cascades. I mean, 72 inches, 40 inches, 56 inches. I mean, we're dumping some heavy snow out here in the west. We're talking feet out here. But we do have snows across the high plains from the Dakotas through Minnesota. Wisconsin still looking good. The Great Lakes getting this. So even with the temperature moderation, I think the northern tier is going to stay cold, and we're developing a pretty decent snowpack pretty early across the northern tier. I've mentioned this before and I'm going to mention again. Snowpack is a big deal because when we get these cold shots that come down, if there's snow on the ground, the air will not modify as much. So the air stays colder when these cold shots come down. So it's a big deal when we track the snowpack in Canada as well as the continental United States. So as we go deeper and we officially start winter on the 21st, that cold air intrusion is important. So we do pay attention to the snowpack here. And we're getting an early start, I would say, here across the northern tier of the United States. All right, so let's go, again, looking at your temperatures here, I want to point out a couple of these cold shots here. Obviously, we're dealing with the one we currently have, but we have another cold shot. Look at this coming down here on Sunday. Another bout of below zero temperatures coming up in here. So we got a few of these to watch. So this is our cold shot coming down there. Comes over the Great Lakes, moves on out. Then we get another one coming down there. There's another one going into next week, into the 11th. So there's another cold shot coming down with below zero temperatures. So technically, actually, you can almost call it three. We got the current one, and we got two more below zero shots coming down here. Some pretty good Arctic air. And then, got a little bit there on the 12th. There's another one there on the 13th. So despite the fact that we're going to warm up here across the south, we still got this cold Arctic air coming in on the 13th. Look what happens here on your Saturday afternoon here across the south. I'll just take this to 1 o'clock. Got a lot of 60s and stuff down here. 60s and 70s, but we're still holding single digits up here. So we're really going to tear the country. We're going to modify the air across the, you can almost cut the country in half, I would say, as far as where the cold air is going to be. Cold air is going to be up here across the northeast and the northern tier as we go into 13th. And I suspect that's going to happen because all the indicators are with the configurations of the NAO and the AO, which is your North Atlantic Oscillation and your Arctic Oscillation, are moving toward a neutral phase. So that means we're not going to get any real big dips in the jet stream. So the cold air is going to be sinking there across the northern tier, but not really coming into the deep south, at least for the time being. We'll see if that changes. This is a long-range forecast. So with that being said, let's look at the climate outlook here. And I didn't reset this again, my apologies. So again, this looks true. I'm okay with this. This is keeping basically half the country. This is cold and we're warm here. This is for next week going in from the 9th to the 13th. But it does start to move it a little bit. I suspect this may get changed a little more. I think we get a little more of the southeast getting into the warm air on this, and it stays coldest across the northern tier. At least that's the way the European is trending, and that's toward the 13th. This goes from the 11th to the 17th, so I think this will get changed a little bit here for today if that model continuity continues this afternoon on the European. This is the big story here. We're back to a dry pattern here across the southern tier. We're active out here. Hey, Mick, thank you very much. As you can see, the wetter weather across the northeast there, and that kind of holds true right through the middle of the month. So for you folks there, like in Arkansas, you're looking at below normal precipitation here through the middle of the country, which is really not bad across the southeast. A lot of the southeast lakes are running a bit on the low side, especially across Georgia where I'm at, and we're just not getting any real heavy rains, unfortunately, the way things are currently looking out there. All right, so anyway, that is your big picture, guys. Thank you, Mick. I appreciate your donation, as always. Edith, good to see you out there as well this morning. Again, anybody coming on board here afterwards, I appreciate it. Now, tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be up in Tennessee. I'm going to be busy with some classes. I'm working to build a 24-hour weather channel for my local area here in Georgia. So I'm going to be, we're making some headway in that department. And hopefully some of the tools that I eventually will bring on into that effort, I'll be able to bring over to this channel as well to some degree, and it'll improve our look a little bit. I think so. But overall, I appreciate you guys helping support our little channel on YouTube. YouTube wasn't the success I was hoping it was going to be, but I'm still going to do it because I like doing it, and I like, especially you guys who've been with me for a while, I feel I owe you guys to stay on board and give you guys weekly updates. So eventually, who knows, maybe we'll find an audience of folks that don't want to get hyperventilated by the kid and The Godfather. So anyway, you guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday. That's when I'll be back in here as we'll track that those cold shots for next week, and we'll see if we're going to get that bit of a break across the south as far as the cold air